This here says in the figure below, two circles with the center M and P respectively are drawn. The equation of circle M is x plus 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared is equals to r squared. Now S, which is 1 and negative 2, is a point on both circles. SR, this line over here, is a tangent to both circles, and P has a coordinate A and B. So A says the first question asks us to write down the coordinate of M. Now M is the coordinate of the circle, right? And we normally get it from here. Now the equation of a circle when the center is not at the origin actually looks like this. This is x minus A squared plus y minus b squared. So we can say that our A would be negative 2 from here, which is our x coordinate, and our B would be positive 1 from there. Okay, so our coordinate will be negative 2 and 1. Now for B, it asks us to determine the value for R, the radius of the circle M in simplified third form. So we just need to rewrite our equation. So this equation here is we also know the point S is on the small circle. Now since the coordinate on the small circle, we can substitute it into our equation and it will help us get R. To get R, we just need to square root it. So square root of 18 gives you 3 root 2. So we can say our radius is 3 root 2 units. Now C says determine the equation of the tangent SR in the form of y is equals to mx plus c. Okay. Now for you to get the equation of this tangent, this SR here, we will need the gradient and we'll need a coordinate. Now we do have the coordinate of S here. That's very important in helping us get this equation. But we don't have the gradient. And we don't have 2 points on this line to help us get the gradient. However, our radius is always perpendicular to a tangent. So if I can get the gradient of MS, I could get the gradient of SR because they'll be perpendicular to themselves, right? The gradients will multiply to give you negative 1. Okay, so let's try to get the gradient of MS, and this is what that's going to give you. So we understand the gradient of MS times the gradient of SR would give you negative 1. So now if the gradient of MS is negative 1, therefore the gradient of SR will just be 1. Okay. So we can substitute this gradient and the coordinate of S, which is 1 and negative 2, 1 and negative 2, into our straight line equation. So the equation of our tangent will be y is equals to x minus 3. So given that MS ratio MP is equals to 1 ratio 4, determine the values of A and B. Okay, so we're going to be answering this question on our circle over here. Now we're told that the ratio of MS to MP is 1 to 4. So I'm going to say that this here is 1. And I'm also going to say this here is 3. I'm saying this is 3 because this entire length is 4. So this part will just be 3. Now that's not the distance, it's just a ratio. So we can put a variable next to it so that we understand that that's not the actual values. Okay. Now what I'm also going to do is that I'm going to create a right angle triangle. So I'm doing this so that it can help me find my value here for P. So I'm saying this, that if I create a right angle triangle here, so this will be parallel to the x-axis. So I draw a straight line, and I also draw a straight line here. Now from here, I would understand that since the coordinate of M is -2 and 1, this is 90 degrees. If this is a horizontal line, the y-coordinate would also be the same. So the coordinate for this would be 1 and 1. So that would mean that the distance here is 3 and the distance here is also 3, right? Now if we construct the second part, so if we construct a right angle triangle for MP, is going to look like this. Continuing in that same vein. Okay, that is also 90 degrees. So that is also a horizontal line. The y coordinate doesn't change, just the x. Now, if the ratio is 1 to 4, it will mean that if the distance here is 3, the whole distance here would have to be 12. Okay, so it would actually mean that it is going to be 12 units to the right. The y will still be 1. However, the x would be 10 because it is 12 units after -2. Okay, now we'll do the same thing for the y. The ratio here is 3, so the ratio here would also be 12. So you have to have 12 units downwards, right? So this here is 10 and 1. So if it's moving 12 units downwards, A will still be 10, or B will be 11, -11. And that will be your answers. And that's exactly how they needed you to answer this question. And the last question, question 2 here says, determine the equation of the circle P. Now this circle P over here has a center of 10 and -11. We know that the radius of MS is 3√2. We got that in the previous question. So the radius here, because it is 3 times that, it will be 3 times 3√2, which makes it 9√2. Okay, so that's your radius. So the coordinate is 10 and -11, and the radius is 9√2. So now putting all that in, this is what you're going to get. And that there will be the equation of your circle P. That's it.